Hi guys, I'm Kevin, and I will be hosting the second part of the webinar series that we are doing. Welcome to all the newcomers, and welcome back to all the people who were there for the first webinar. So, as a lot of you would have been are working with StockTake or might be new over here, I would like to tell you a little about why StockTake Online and why you choose our software. I'll quickly go over it. We provide around the clock customer support. We have a very quick resolution time. We have on-site training for our clients in the UK and the UAE. We have client-specific setup. Could be different regions pertaining to the regions or geolocations. Therefore, client-specific setup. We have training at all levels of staff. We have no limit on our registered users, unlike some of our competitors. From time to time, we have developed and worked with the clients to get new features which have benefited the masses and a lot of the other clients as well. We have, as I mentioned, client requirement and development which have been implemented. Multiple security levels which we have. As all of you are aware of, we are spread out quite a bit over a lot of places. As you can see on your screen, the US, UK, with a couple of well-established F&B service providers. So in today's webinar, we will be doing batches and recipe creations. In the previous webinar, we covered product list, orders, deliveries, how we accept deliveries, how orders are made, how suppliers are added. So in today's webinar, we will be learning about batches and recipe creation. So what are batches? How are they created on STO is what we look at. How are they different from recipes, although they are very similar to recipes? How we differentiate them in StockTake Online. They act as an ingredient in a recipe, also known as a sub-recipe. How we archive batches which are not in use anymore, how do we put them out of the system? Not exactly out, but not in the mainstream in our list. And what is auto and manual batch processing? So to let you know quickly, I'll take you to the database which I shared earlier, the last time as well. And I will show you how we create batches and how they're created on StockTake Online. So if you see, this is the homepage for StockTake Online. And if you go towards the left, you will see a subheading called batches. And beneath that, we have creating batches. On the homepage of StockTake Online, you will see that we have on the left-hand side something called batches, which is under recipes. Now, batches are basically whatever the restaurant is producing in bulk. It could be, as I mentioned, it could be an ingredient used as an ingredient or a sub-recipe for the main recipe. So I'll just show you a run through how we create batches in StockTake Online. We click on create batches. We can put in a name. For example, we need to make a sauce. It's a tomato-based sauce. Now, the thing in batches, you will see there are two groups. I have a group here, which I will put as batches. We have a place to put comments, how it has to be prepared, so on and so forth, the calorie count. Now, the differentiator in a batch and recipe is that a batch will have two groups. One where it is being created, and one because a product category, as it is also a standalone product for the main recipe. So if we are making this sauce, for example, for pizzas, we're making a marinara sauce. Now that marinara sauce needs to be prepared beforehand so that it can be used in the main item, which is a pizza. Therefore, it comes as a product as well in ingredients. I'll further explain that to you in the next part of recipes. But here again, we go ahead and select batches. right? We put it in the batches category of our product list. Now, while over here, batch output denotes what is going to be the outcome of the bulk cooking we are doing. So, for example, we are trying to cook about 10 uh, kgs, I would say, of the sauce. We are yielding 100% of it. All right. We could assign it to a store. I haven't assigned stores, but you could assign it to a store like a chiller or something. Now, why do we have the stock store here? We can mention it because in products, we have the option to designate certain items to certain parts of stores, what we can call maybe a deep freezer, a chiller, a fridge, so on and so forth. So because this also acts as a product, we go ahead and we can denote a store to it. Now, now that we're creating this sauce, it's a marinara sauce, we would need some tomatoes. We put in tomatoes, it comes to the right, right? We need some salt. We put in some salt. Mm, we need pepper, a little bit of pepper maybe, some oil, yeah. So on and so forth. You will add uh, whatever and however you customize every individual recipe for bulk cooking. So now for olive oil, example, if we want an output of 10 kgs, we're going to be putting close to about 500 ml of olive oil. We could have garlic. I've not mentioned it here, but garlic, oregano, so on and so forth. These are just rough approximate, close approximate figures of what would go in it. But yes, nonetheless, 50 grams of pepper, about 50 grams of salt, and say about 12 kgs after being reduced of tomato, hypothetically speaking. So once we put in these ingredients, once I know that whatever I'm putting in here, sorry, that'll be 12 kgs. Yeah. My output is 10 kgs of uh, uh, the sauce. Now I have gone ahead and added all these items. I have put in what the requirement is. Now, StockTake, what it does is it will go ahead and break it down for you. It has gone ahead and seen what is the cost for 500 ml of olive oil or for 50 grams of pepper. And it will break it down for you and give you your recipe cost total. And you go ahead and save it as a batch, right? Now these batches will show up in your recipe because it was created as a recipe. We have the sauce here. Plus, I will further go and show you how it also reflects in the products as it is being used in the main recipe once I show you how we create a recipe. So over here, you will see the recipe, the name, the group. We have denoted it to kitchen batches. The product category is batches. What is the output? What is the cost per kg? What goes into it? In case we need to edit the batch, we can go ahead and click on edit. Allow me a moment. Once we click on edit, it will take you to the page which showed up earlier while we were creating. So you can make the relevant changes, whatever you need to make. You say you do not want, you need to add a little bit more of olive oil, or you bump it up to 600 ml. It gives you the new cost, and it creates the batch. So that's how you create a batch. Now, do I have any questions around what for the batches or how they are created on StockTake before I continue forward? All right, I'll move ahead. Once we create a batch, as I said, it will also show up in the product. So it will show up. You could either filter it or further down you will get it in the recipe list. Before I forget and I go on forward, batches are denoted by the cauldron before the recipe. Whichever uh, whichever recipe has this symbol in front of it, it is denoted as a batch. All right. Now coming to product list, where it also shows that, and how it acts like a product. We made it sauce. We put it into the kitchen batches. Yeah. So now if you see in the list of products, it shows up as sauce as well. right? Similarly, I've already created some batches over here like beef patty, chicken patty, lamb patty, pizza dough, pork patty. We have the barbecue chicken herbs and chili. These are batches which are created, which have been made into recipes, which I'll show you further. Now, once we have created this sauce, right, we what we do is we have to now create the main recipe. All right. So before we go further, uh, as I said, archiving batches and also auto and manual batch processing. So archiving batches is a process where we remove the batch from the list. It will remove itself from the recipe list as well as it will remove itself from the product list. Now you cannot delete the batch because it is being used in the system. Purchases have been made against it. Reports have been generated, which have been stored in the history. So therefore, we do not allow, the system does not allow you to delete the batch because it has information regarding that particular products in the batch. And because batch acts as a product, so it doesn't allow you. Although it also gives you the option to retrieve the batch if it is ever required again. Now I have a point here stating auto and manual batch processing. Now, auto and manual batch processing basically is when you want, like how we calculate, how is their batch depletion, uh, right? How do we see what batches have been processed? Now, when we talk about auto batch processing, this is what it means is that as and when sales come into the system, the StockTake Online system from the EPOS, the system calculates the sale and automatically deducts the necessary amount of ingredients which have been used in the process of making those main items. So I'll give you a quick update. I'll just show it to you how it works. On the left, you see there is a batch processing option. You click on it. It is self-explanatory once you come on batch manual processing. So if you see here, I get an option where I could go ahead and process a whole batch of chicken. Now, the batch of chicken could consist, over here, it breaks down for me one portion, the cost unit, how many I want to do, the batch quantity, what we are going to do. We put it in and we go ahead and save the batch. So what it does then, so if, for example, I have used 1 kg, I have prepared 1 kg of the tomato sauce. I will go ahead and put in one quantity. So what the system will do once I click on save, it will automatically deplete the stock for that batch which has been prepared. Now this is taken whole. This is taken collectively. When I mean collectively, it takes the whole, it takes one full portion or one full size of the tomato sauce or the sauce that we created. So, for example, we had created a batch of 10, the output was 10, right? Now we are creating batches. The batch size is 1 kg. We have created 10. So I would put 10 here and I would process the batch if I've made the whole batch. Once I do that, this is one way of doing it, how we process the batch and deplete the stock. The other way is auto batch processing. Now, what happens in auto batch processing is the system relies on the sales which are coming in through the EPOS. So just let me quickly show you here. I would encourage the participants to please ask questions or ask me to stop and explain something if as and when required. So in auto batch processing, once it opens up, you will see it will very specifically ask you for which period you want to, you know, uh, do the auto batch processing for. And in this, we are in the second period, which is the month of February. And we go ahead and if I click on show me what all what all batches have been processed in the kitchen, it shows me that I need to process 151 quantities of the beef patty need to be processed. That is coming through the sales. That is what the sales has prompted. That they have been 150 one beef patties which have been consumed, portions which have been consumed. So automatically we will go ahead and process it. Once we process this batch of whatever the sales are, this automatically deletes everything depletes the stock, what is required. So how much, whatever ingredients were used to create 151 beef patties has been depleted from the stock. So that is about auto batch processing and manual batch processing. Now coming to recipes. So before I go forward, do I have any questions from the participants based on for batch processing? All right, moving forward. Coming to recipe creation, similar to a batch, but different in itself. We will cover sales category, how is a recipe created on STO, the add menu item for standalone products, or from products where we can go ahead and divide them. These are more useful for standalone products like soda cans or alcohol, bottles of alcohol, cans of alcohol. I shall give you an example there. We have something called the modifiers and identifiers, which are basically used to set up combo meals or family meals. Then we have add-ons, and also, unlike batches, we can delete a recipe. So let's quickly go to the database and I'll show you how we create a recipe. So again, towards the left, you will see that under the recipe, you have the option for create recipe, you have the option for quick updates, you have the option for recipe template. Now, if I just show you for the few recipes I created, the generic recipes I created, under the kitchen, we'll select all sales categories. Now, as I mentioned, sales categories, if you look here, I have sales categories for burgers, pizzas, pastas, the grill, extras, batches, and set menus. Now, why is it important to have a sales category? The reason is so that you could segregate. Like now, all the burgers, the chicken burger, the smash burger, the pork burger, the beef burger, the lamb burger, I can segregate them into burgers. So that tomorrow, when I want to see my reports, I could see a consolidated report, or I could see individual reports for the burgers or the pizzas. So that's why we have to add a sales category. The list shows up something like this. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and quickly add and show you how to create a recipe. So first of all, we'll have a recipe name. Let's do a veg burger. All right, not just give me a moment. All right, let's do it. For example, a pasta, say an Alfredo. All right, we have an Alfredo pasta. So that is what we're going to name it. We are going to denote it under the group, the sales category, as I mentioned earlier, the pizza, so on and so forth. Just give it a moment to load. So under the kitchen, I'm going to put it under pastas, the white sauce, very generic, but easier to explain. We will set a price, the sales price, what we want to give it. We will set, for example, we want to give it 15, we'll put it 15. Now, GP is what percentage we're looking for the gross profit on the product. Target GP next to it is something what we are targeting. So, for example, for this particular recipe, I want to target the GP for 80%. I can put in 80% over there. Now, based on everyday situation and the fluctuating prices of raw material, the price could go up or down, and the system will notify you in a report that the GP has fallen. So you can make the relevant changes. We have our tax bracket here. Now over here, if you see something called the PLU number. Now the PLU number is something which allows the EPOS and StockTake Online to identify what recipe was ordered at the EPOS, what stock needs to deplete from its stock. So we always denote this with a particular number. They're given for all numbers that they could be done in series. Beverages different, kitchen different, consumables different, so on and so forth. So for example, we'll give it 1,000. The number will denote 1001. EPOS sales. Now, EPOS sales is what part of the total amount of sales should go to this recipe called the Alfredo pasta. Now, usually this is used more where we split the sales, where we have a combo meal. Probably we want 40% of the beverage of the combo meal to go into the revenue of it. The beverage is contributing 40%, and the kitchen or the food is contributing 60%. So that's where we could split the revenue from the EPOS sales into the system. Here we have the comment sections. Over here, we could go ahead and add instructions on how it needs to be created. It's more like a recipe sheet, a recipe card with you could give detailed instructions. And then also we have the calorie count. Where earlier it was mandated by the UAE government that the calorie count was necessary on the menu. So it was introduced in StockTake as well, as we have a lot of clients from the Middle East. Now again, it's the similar process of adding products. We are adding some penne pasta. Okay, not penne, let's add some spaghetti. We're adding some salt. We have some cream, which is going into it, some full cream milk, so on and so forth. You can add the products, some oregano, some basil, some garlic is going in, right? So we can keep on adding the products, and then we can put in our recipe. Every chef has their own customized recipe. Garlic, say about putting in 5 grams, maybe 25 ml of milk. This is just very ballpark figures, just to give you a breakdown of how the system will break it down to the closest, to the second decimal point for you. Now we're using about, say, 100 grams of the spaghetti pasta. It will give you your total recipe cost. You go ahead and save the recipe, and it starts reflecting in the system. If you see here, it shows you Alfredo pasta. So this is just a rough ballpark on how you operate the system. These are not specific recipes, not very accurate. But yes, now again, like the batch, this again gives us an option to edit the recipe. You give it, you click on the edit option, it will open up the same page as the process for the batches, make the relevant changes, save the recipe. That is one point. Now, while I was showing you this page, you would notice something called create template. Now, creating a template or a recipe template, even if you look towards under recipe template. So recipe template is something where we can keep the recipe fixed, pan multi-locations. So what we do is we create a recipe template and then we could copy it, keeping in mind the certain criterias. Yes, Andrea, I believe you have a question.
Can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
We had a question here. We wanted to
Sure.
know how to, when you archive recipes, right?
Right,
If
right.
if in the future we need the recipe back, how can we retrieve the recipe from archived?
Batches can be archived, but recipes are deleted.
So recipes are deleted, and if we
Yes.
want to get back the batches, let's say, how do you unarchive
All
things?
right. I will just show that to you. So if you look at my screen towards the left-hand side, we have the option for product archive, right?
Yeah.
So if I archive a product, so I'll give you a quick example here before we move forward. So I'm on the
Yeah.
product list. I am in all the product categories, and now I want to archive, say, the beef patty. I'm done with it. I have changed my recipe. I'm not doing this any further. So I want to go ahead and just a second. Quickly, give me a second. Yeah. So I have product. Sorry, coming back. I have a product here. I say I do not. I'm not using, for example, the beef boneless anymore, right? So when I go to the products, I will see an option here called archive. Now, if I click on archive, you will see the screen pop up. Either it will allow you to go ahead and archive it, or it will give you the reason why you cannot. Now, the multiple reasons it may not allow you to archive it if it is in recipe content, if it is in pending orders, if it is in your stock take, right? So you will not be able to archive the product or batch if it is already in the system and running. So you will have to move it from your recipe content. You will have to find an alternate for beef boneless to
Yeah.
put in that recipe. Only then you will be able to archive. So now, for example, I will go ahead and archive a product for you, which I haven't put up in a recipe, so that you can see how it's done. Like I haven't used bacon strips as of now in any recipe, and I'm not using it anymore. I go ahead and I click on archive. Oh, my bad. This is also showing up in a recipe. This is in extras. Just give me a second. This is in the extras menu. Mm, what is it that I haven't used? Coffee. Let me just try coffee. If I've used, I don't think I've used it in a recipe. I could check it though from the product list, which recipe it is being used in, right? I do not see it being used in any recipe, so it ideally should allow me to archive it. So if as you see here, no item to make default, it's not being used in anything, it will allow me to archive. I'll
Yeah.
go ahead and archive this, right? Once I've archived this, I could go to product archive on the left side, open it. Similarly, it works for the batches the same way. The same way it works for the batches. There is no difference, right?
Right.
Now, if you see here, coffee was archived. I have the option to retrieve it here.
Okay.
Similarly, I have the option to archive all these products,
Okay.
right?
Get it.
But these are only for products and batches. For recipes, you delete it and they don't come back.
So you need to recreate a new one if you want it back.
Yes, if you want it back, you will have to create a new recipe.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So moving forward, I was talking about recipe templates. Now, recipe templates is usually useful when we are multi-location, when maybe the head branch or the headquarters one is controlling, the executive chef is controlling all the recipes for all the locations. So from where he creates the recipes, they are linked. There are certain boundaries they are have to be in so that they can be linked. And it is not easy to change the recipe if they are linked. But yes, that is the function where recipe template mainly comes in. Now, under recipe, we also have the quick update function. Now, the quick update function will allow you to make certain changes, like the PLU, right? If there's a change in PLU, probably there's a change in PLU due to a switch in your EPOS or various other reasons. It will allow you to make the changes to the EPOS sales percentage, a little bit about the grouping if you want to, the taxes, the sale price, so on and so forth, what your target GP is. And as it shows here, it will also allow you to delete the recipe, right? So for recipes, do I have any questions as of now? Yes, Kenneth.
My main question is, since we have all of these recipes and all these products created, there is any
Yes,
chance we can try to have or even separate the instead of deleting a product, archiving these things you said before on the previous one, we can have
hmm,
it archived due to we put it into the TCLs and it's been a sale, so that means it needs to be recorded, right?
right. So we do not need the recipe to be archived because the recipe is created after the products come in, right? The buildup of the recipe is the products. Now we can show a sale for a chicken burger, right? It's a recipe, but the main ingredients for the chicken burger, once it shows as a sale, I would say 10 chicken burgers were sold. Now that's the recipe which was sold. But I do need to keep the products because they are deliveries. There was chicken, there was boneless chicken which came in. There were probably buns which came in. There was salt which was put into it which came in. Now those are recorded in the system. Going forward, we will talk about periods and how periods are closed so that changes are not made to them once we are done with stock take. So that would be clarified further. Nonetheless, we have our support and operations manager with us, Ayushi. In case I'm not able to fully answer your question, she will be more than happy to guide you through. So if you still do not get it, you could please ask it, and I'll be more than happy to answer it for you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So any more questions regarding this, Kenneth?
No.
All right. So covering recipes, moving ahead. Now, sales. How are sales recorded in STO? We have, there are two ways that sales are recorded. One is the application programming interface or API, which is done itself. This is basically a program written for two softwares. Now, when we say two softwares, one would be your EPOS and one is StockTake Online to communicate. Now, this is done once a day, and that could be set up in the database, which is the StockTake database when you want to pull in your sales. Or we have the file transfer protocol or the FTP sales import, which is done and sales are uploaded on the system. And then we will also take a closer look into the sales report and how does it show up. So coming back to the database, towards the left, you will see sales, right? So now if I click on sales, there are two ways that I could view the sales which have come into the system. Now, FTP is uploaded every day, while an API comes in through every day. So we could check the sales by a period or by a category. Yeah. So we have sales by period. So now if you see here, you will see there are two periods. So to clear that, so the first period was when we started the first webinar, where I showed how deliveries are accepted. We took in stock. We hadn't created any recipes because I wanted to do it along with you people, everyone who's joined in and who had joined in last time, step by step. So we had closed the stock as we had accepted it in deliveries. So showing you, then we put in some sales because this is just a demo database which has been created for your understanding. So we are looking at just the second or this month's, the February sales. We can view the reports. I've only uploaded a few days, but they should show up something like this on your screen, right? Now this, I am looking at sales by period. So now it is showing me the sales which were made in the period of February. I have only uploaded sales for 4 days, for the 13th, 14th, 15th, and 16th. As consolidated, it shows me the outer spec of what has happened on the day. So on the 13th, what was my gross amount, my net amount, my total sales, my gross profit, and my GP percentage. And if I would want to expand it, I could go ahead and expand it by clicking on the date. Now you will look, if you take a closer look, you will see uh, for chicken burger example, on the 13th, we sold 5 chicken burgers with a recorded sales price of 7. What was our gross amount? Our net amount, the total cost it cost us to make those burgers. What was our gross profit on the total, on the gross amount? What is the percentage? The cost per unit, that is per burger, the theoretical sales. Now, theoretical sales is based on ingredient usage. That's why you're seeing a second decimal. That's why if you look a little closer in the variance, you will get a little a 0.02 variance because the variance is between your net amount and your theoretical sales. Net amount, which is coming in from the EPOS, and the theoretical sales, which is calculated by the system. Second thing you will notice, we have two highlighted products. Now, the two highlighted products show us that in one case, the sales coming in from the EPOS for cranberry juice is 10, but StockTake has it mentioned as 8. As I showed you while creating a recipe, we have the option to set the sales price. So we have two options. As you see, it will say click to update. Now, if we want to update the sales price in the system, we will go ahead and click OK, and it will update the sales price. For the red, it shows that the EPOS sales is lower than what the sales price for the recipe was decided in StockTake Online. Now, this could be due to a discount that is being offered by the restaurant or the front end, or it could be an error, either one. But most likely, it would be a discount. But StockTake Online will highlight if there are any issues coming in. It has visual confirmation for problems that need to be tackled so that there is the least or next to none margin of error. So that is how you could view your sales by period. Coming to sales by category, I'll just show you how it works or how it looks. We'll go for all dates. For the category, I'll choose again kitchen. So over here, you will see that in the kitchen, what I sold, on what day I sold, how many of it I sold. So for the 4 days of the 13th, 14th, 15th, and 16th that we recorded the sales for, it will show you the chicken burgers that were sold. It will break it down for you. It will give you your overall sales. For the 3 days, for just the kitchen bit, is what the gross amount, the net amount, your percentage, your profit, your total cost. Similarly, you could do it individualistically. As I mentioned, we had the sales category. So if I just wanted to check specifically for, say, the chicken burger, I could even break it down further, right? If I wanted to do it for the beverage part, let's say how many alcoholic beverages we sold. I could I could view the report like that. I could view it further. Beer sold, just beer, just whiskey, just rum, just vodka. So StockTake Online gives you that option to really break it down so that you could take a closer look and have a better understanding of how your products are going out in the restaurant or what are the top performers. So that is how you view the sales report. Do I have any questions about the sales report or how it is recorded or how it seems? Yes, Kenneth.
Hi. My question is, yesterday I was looking to try to find out like the GP and all of these things, and I couldn't because I thought it's gonna be on the report, but now that you showed that it's on sales, it makes it life way easier to try to have the stock a little
Right,
bit more
right.
accurate.
All right. I'm very glad that this is an easier way for you to see the reports. But yes, StockTake does make it very user friendly so that you can, break it down. You can really segregate all the categories because a lot of institutions, F&B institutions, do like to segregate, do want to see what their top performers are, do want to push out any products which are not performing well enough. So yes. Any other question for me you have, Kenneth?
Apart from that, there is any possibility that you guys have just not the actual GP and the theoretical GP as well on the sales report?
Uh, uh, could you come again? I didn't understand
For
you. So,
example, is showing the
Mhm.
actual GP but not the theoretical GP. I would like to have them both so I can see what we failing and compare both of them.
Okay, so you want to see the actual GP. So if you look at this report, which I have on the screen, can you see it?
Yes.
It's for the burgers, right?
Yes.
So now the actual GP is usually shown in the GP report, right? That is the overall performance for either a category as a whole or the period as a whole. Now, the sales report will give you individualistic uh, uh, sales for the day, whereas the GP report is a consolidated report. Even that does show you the theoretical sales and the actual sales. Over here, if we see the theoretical sales for burgers on the 13th of this month was supposed to be 29.15, right? But the EPOS has pushed in sales for 29.17, which is the net amount. Now, that little difference that you see coming in, the 0.2, is because the ingredients, the theoretical sales is being calculated by the StockTake Online, and ingredients are being calculated. Now, if you saw when I was adding ingredients, it was bringing you to the second decimal point, like 23 point so. So that's why there is a little variance, right? Now, this is one way of seeing it. What you are talking about is the GP report, which we shall cover, but in a later, that's a whole webinar in itself where we will discuss about the consumption and the GP report and how they differ and what are the functions. But I hope that after you have seen viewing the reports from the perspective of the sales reports, should be a little easier for you to figure out how you are performing. Yes, we have David, I believe, also with a question.
Hi, Kevin. Sorry, just at the back of the previous question.
Sure.
Obviously, this is very clear with the sales by category and sales report. However, I know you're going to cover it on separate webinar or another kind of meeting, but I just wanted to understand if there is an ideal report that brings sales and GPs all together into one. You don't have to show it, just if there is one report that kind of brings all of this information together.
Ayushi, would you help me answer that for David?
Sure. Hey, David. So, at the moment, as Kevin has mentioned, that we do have a separate report, that is the GP report, which is working on a product level. And also, we have another report, which is a sales summary report under the report section that you can refer, which is having, the theoretical and actual GP, which may fulfill your need. So that, all the reports, all the other reports we are going to cover in the next session. But yeah, that's the answer you can refer, under the reports, we have multiple sales report, which may fulfill your requirement.
Yeah, so on your screen, David, you'll see, I've just opened up the report section. If you can see, we have the sales summary with the theoretical GP.
Yeah, but this report it doesn't give a proper reconciliation from what I've seen.
Again, we will cover that, but
okay.
I believe you can, this report should solve your purpose for the question which you asked. It should be able to give you the details of what you require, but nonetheless, we'll get back to you.
Okay.
I'll make a note and we will definitely get back to you on that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So moving ahead, from the sales, we come to stock depletion. Now, as I mentioned, how is depletion on StockTake recorded? Once sales come in or when batches are processed. Now, if you saw, it is very precise. The stock or the counting or the breakdown of your depletion is very, very, very precise. Although during the functioning, if we haven't taken stock, we have something called under the reports of live report, we have something known as the live consumption report, which we can see what a stock or what has been consumed after the sales have come in or after batches have been processed. So for example, under kitchens, let's view the report for the live consumption report. Now, all of this is theoretical, right? We see we have adjusted, a batch would have been processed, sales would have come in. What is our stock left with us? What is the live consumption report shows us what was the opening stock, and what is theoretically what should be our closing stock. and the value of it. So we have a little better understanding of what has been used. Under the adjustments, you will see what has been used, like all-purpose flour. We have used the opening stock was 100. We have used 3, so 97 theoretically should be left, right? Gives you your stock value, breaks it down again into individual categories, individual the kitchen, the beverage, consumption, so on and so forth, right? So this is one. This is how stock depletion happens in StockTake Online. Either when once sales come in or batches are processed. That is how the system identifies that stock depletion has been done. So coming to the next step, StockTake, which the software is all about, inventory management, and how we do it on StockTake, the different ways of recording StockTake on STO. There is individual user accountability with user and the date stamp. Then we have we have a very user-friendly user interface. You could do it on your laptop. There are different ways of doing it on your system, and there's a different way of doing it on a mobile app. Then we have the StockTake report as well. So coming back to the database, now if you go to your home page under operations, you will see the option to do StockTake, right? Now, either I could select StockTake for the period and it shows me. I could select the category. Now, stores, as mentioned, I have not put it up here, but it could be chillers, fridges. You could have a wine cellar, cellar 1, cellar 2, cellar 3, wherever it's stored. You could individually do the StockTake for different parts of the kitchen. But over here, as it shows collectively, you could put in whatever the stock is remaining with you, and you could save the data. That is one way of doing it. Now you could do it again, as I said, you could break it down. You're just doing the wine section, or maybe you're just doing the juice section or the pop soda section, so on and so forth. Or for the kitchen, you may be doing it. So it will open it up for you. You could individually go and put in the remaining stock you have and save the data. It gets set into the system. That is one way of doing it. The second way of doing it is the option you see here for export. Now, what you will do in export is you will select the period you want to do the stock take for, the category, and over here, because I have not created any stores, in the next webinar, you will see the stores created as well. I'm selecting no stores because it is under no stores, and I'll export the Excel file to my system, which should open something like this. Just give me a moment. I'll share the screen. It should show up something like this on your screen. I hope all of you can see my screen, and it has opened up the stock take for beverages. So all I need to do is just to put in the stock which I have seen. I put it in here. For example, for gin, I see 10. I put in 10. For whiskey, I see none. I do not put anything. I do not need to put anything. I do not need to put a 0. I could put my stock in. I put all of it in. I save the file. And once I have saved the file, for example, I put in 10, 12. We've got 14 of this still left. Maybe a couple of more, 5, 2, 23, 1. And now I'll go ahead and I'll save this, right? Once I've saved this file, just allow me a moment. Yeah, so I saved this file. Now what I'll do is I'll go, if you see, okay, just let me change my screen. Once I have made changes to that file and I save it, I will go ahead and select the import option. I will choose the file I want to upload. This is the one we had saved. I open it up. All right. So it shows me I uploaded the file. It shows me that I have put in 10 for the beef eater. I've put in Hendrix 12. Whatever the I have put in, it will show up as a green thumbs up. Whatever I have not, it will show in as a red thumbs down. Once I have double checked it, I am certain I can start the upload. Once I start the upload, the system automatically picks up whatever you have put into it, and it starts reflecting uh, as in the stock take has been done. That is what is left. So then, based on the stock take you have done, do you get certain things like your GP report and your consumption report? So that is how stock take is done on the system. Although there is another way and how we can do even stock take from our mobile application. So if you will see, uh, all right, I apologize. Let me just get back to another bit I missed during sales. I'm just getting back to it, not to confuse you though, but very necessary part of it. So as I mentioned during the sales, how we view sales report. Now, sometimes what may happen, all right, is that because you haven't denoted the recipe with the PLU number, what could happen is that your EPOS is trying to communicate with StockTake Online that a sale has been made. But because of the absence of a PLU number, the sales go into something we call under reports the unlinked sales report. So there could be a chance where your EPOS sale and the sales showing under your sales report for the particular day or the particular category will not match. You will want to go and see the unlinked sales report, where it will show you all the items which have come through the EPOS but haven't been registered by StockTake Online. And then ideally, you would go ahead and update the PLU number and re-import the sales, which should update your sales. Yes. So going further from there, coming back to stock take being done on your app on your cell phone. This is the screen that appears. You have to fill in your name, your username, your password, your location, how whatever is your client code. We are using webinar over here. We see we have two locations. We have Excelsior, Paragon. I go to Paragon. We have a lot of options: orders, delivery, stock take, sales, and more. But as we will be doing stock take, we will go to stock take. Now over here, I see stores. I go and add for the particular period I want to do. I click on the plus sign. I select the period. As I mentioned, we do not have stores, so no stores. I create the stock take. Now I see that I'm going to do the stock take for for the month of February. I have the option for the filter where I go ahead. I could put in kitchen, I could put in beverage, I could put in consumables, break it down. I go ahead and put in the whatever the stock is remaining for the particular items, right? I'll update 40 for Hendrix, Appleton instead. I could click on the plus, I could click on the minus, so on and so forth. Now, the important thing to remember while doing stock take from your app, from your mobile phone, is that once you're pressing it in over here, it is not updating in the system. It is only getting locally saved to that device, to your device. If you see on the top right corner, next to the search symbol, to the right of it, you will see a cloud with a small arrow. I'm not sure if it's visible to all of you clearly, but there's a cloud with a small arrow. Only as and when you click on it will the system sync with the main database to update the stock which has come in. So that is how you record stock through your cell phone. All right. Again, StockTake Online has put out its free StockTake feature on the app. There are easy ways you need to provide some information to use these. I believe most of you are already tenured users of StockTake, so you should have the complete access. But for all the new users who are joining us, they need to submit a form. They'll get a call from our sales team. They'll join a free demo and onboarding session, receiving your details, and then you could be able to use the free StockTake app.